All right, y'all. It's your boy Trey with Let's Just Talk Trey. And this is kind of a part of my life coaching series. I just kind of wanted to add a podcast into it. Been new in the game. Kayla and I were talking through the DMs, and she brought up, well, we kind of like were just talking about goals in general. I asked you, where do you see yourself in 5 years, right?
Yes.
Then we kind of started with that question. What was your response again? I just want to, yeah.
I believe in a way, I really don't want to say that because I
Yeah.
could put myself wrong, but I know my general response
Hmm.
is, I don't necessarily set where I see myself in 5 years.
Yeah.
It's just I work day by day into,
Hmm.
what I can just handle on a daily
Yeah.
basis and continue to just persevere.
Yep, exactly, exactly. And you said, I know that in that you also said that you were not really someone that set goals because you also realized that when you set them, what'd you say? You said that
I
you
don't
oftentimes,
always follow through.
yep, exactly. And you said that was due to them being unrealistic.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So I think my follow-up question to that was, I was asking you like, do you always find yourself setting unrealistic goals, or is that something that you do on purpose and you just never end up hitting them, or like is that intentional when you do set it?
I feel like that goes back to how I was raised.
Yeah.
I was raised with two parents that, my mom originally was a nurse, my dad, a nuclear engineer.
Mm.
And
Oh
they've
wow,
always,
nuclear.
yeah, he still does that, but he's about to retire. But
Okay.
I feel like I was raised with two parents that have always had a direction. And they've
Mm.
always been, really hard on me as far as grades, don't do
Mm.
this. If so, we got to figure out what's going on. You got to, do this for your school and do that. I feel like I've had such a direction where I need to be an overachiever that I didn't
Mm.
understand that sometimes in life, not everything's going to work out.
Wow.
So I would always like, just to give an example, whenever I was probably 16 or 17, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm going to have a house by the time I'm 20 years old.
Yep.
Okay, so maybe realistic, maybe to some people, but in the situation I had myself in, it probably wasn't realistic. I should have upped that age a little bit, or not even set a limit on it. Just say I'm going to work towards getting
Yeah.
a house.
Yeah. Hmm.
I feel like sometimes, especially people with anxiety, which I have, you hyper focus on certain things, and
Yeah.
when something wouldn't go right, I would automatically be like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to quit, or,
Yeah.
this isn't for me. But it's about setting a realistic terminology for yourself. I feel like it's more individualized, and everyone tries to compare themselves. Oh, well, like, I don't know, just throw out there, like, I'm going to be Beyonce. That's
Yeah.
probably not going to happen.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
just about setting for yourself your own realistic goals and not basing it off of someone else and basing off the general, aspects that people put out there. Just focusing on yourself and what you can actually do and accomplish for those goals that you want to get to.
You didn't say all that in the DMs, but you saying it now. That's good.
Yeah,
That's
you can elaborate more, whenever you're talking. Whenever I know you can send voice messages and everything nowadays, but sometimes when you're just texting, especially just to
yeah.
catch up a little bit, you don't get to
Mhm.
elaborate on everything that you want to say.
Exactly, exactly. And that's why I love doing this because, again, it's always, I know people have more things to say. It's just I try to hit them with questions that can kind of, leave an open end to the
Mhm.
question and then allow them to spill later in the Zoom. I try to get them on a call later and be like, all right, I'm gonna open you up now. I kind of got you.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. No, I do. And you just mentioned your parents. So you said nurse and a nuclear engineer.
Yes.
Those are some tough professions. Like, and when I say tough, I mean like they must have been very rigid to even reach those goals. My sister's a nurse. I understand how, that pretty much never ends. You're always taking classes and growing in your profession. A nuclear engineer, I can only imagine, what I'm saying, the strenuous studies and things that go into both disciplines. And
Mhm.
so you growing up as a kid, you said that they were very hard on you.
Yes.
And if you don't mind me asking again, it's a little personal, but you ain't gotta share anything you don't want to. But like when you say very hard on you, are you saying like it was almost like a expectation of perfection.
Yes. Yeah. And I
Wow.
feel like I've always had that myself, besides them being hard on me. I've always been the one, I have well, they're not that little anymore, but I have two sisters. They're younger than me.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to, I mean, as long as I can remember, be
Yeah.
someone to look up to for them.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I was hard on myself, besides them being hard on me. And
Yeah.
I needed to always kind of one up myself,
Yeah.
which can be very dangerous because,
Yeah.
I feel like
Hmm.
that's why sometimes as a teenager, I went through some of the things that I did because
Mm.
I felt like I wasn't doing enough. So
Wow.
um, now, 27, I'm like,
Yeah.
I kind of understand it more, but I wish that I would have maybe. I'm not going to go too drastic backwards. Maybe when I was like 23, would I understand what I understand now. But
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even say that I regret anything because it's brought me this far. I mean, I have a house now.
Hmm.
Um, I still have a car that works. that not a lot
Yeah.
of people, not a lot of people
Not
don't
a lot of
have
people
that.
do. Yeah, exactly.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, I can say I'm taking steps to where I want to be, and
Yeah.
that's all you can do.
Wow. 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 I appreciate that. Like the transparency in that.
Yeah.
Um, I appreciate that. Wow. Wow. Okay, so let me ask you this then, because I asked you this question while we were in the DMs. But I asked you, do you want to have children? We were kind of hovering around there. You said no because of, ooh, can you tell people what you said?
Yeah, I said no because I just feel like I see. I hate that. I don't know. I don't want to say that I don't remember what I say, but I don't want to
Hmm.
just
I
say.
remember what you said if you want me to say it.
Yeah. Do you want to just say what I said?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, no problem. So you essentially said, and again, you can, correct me if I'm wrong, but
Mm.
from what I remember, it was that you didn't want them to you didn't want to birth children by which then they would have to perhaps
I
experience
remember
the
what I said.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um, it was about mainly physical and health, mental health issues that are
Yeah.
in my family, and I've always had a fear of like what if that is passed down to one of my children.
Hmm.
And not saying that, regardless, parents do love their kids and try to do their
Yeah.
best for them. But at the same time, if I don't have to, I don't want to have to go through that or put a kid through that.
Hmm.
And then at the same time, another reason I do remember that I stated is we're all limited on this earth.
Hmm.
We all have a
Hmm.
limited time.
Hmm.
So, and maybe I'm crazy to think about it
No,
this
no,
way,
no, no, you're not. You're not.
but
Hmm.
I don't want to have a kid that is going to have to years later. And I mean, you never know whenever you're going to die. So
Yeah. Yep.
that can end up missing me
Yeah.
because I hate getting emotional about some things. Oh my God.
I know. I'm sorry. No, this is what I do. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. And I have my parents, but losing
Yeah.
my grandma is what really did it for me.
Yeah.
So to have to think about putting someone through that would be my kid, it's
Yeah.
like um, I don't want to do
Mm.
that.
Mm. I
Now,
feel
I'm
that.
not saying that if for some reason I would end up pregnant,
Yeah.
uh, I'm not going to get rid of the kid. You know,
Mm. Yeah.
but at the same time, it's not a plan that I have.
Yeah.
So, and everybody has their own views on that. Some people
Yeah.
maybe they can't
Yeah.
handle it. And
Hmm.
I'd rather you be honest and say that you can't than neglect a child or, not have any plans of
Yep.
properly taking care of them or just giving them up and not even wanting any connection. Because I
Yeah.
feel like, yeah, okay, everybody has their own views on that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we all grow up.
Yep.
We all want to know where we came from. So like I feel like at least if you are gonna give the kid up, give a little backstory, something. You don't have to be
Mm.
around. But I only know because I have a friend that was adopted and all that. So
Yeah.
but,
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's pretty much my views on that. I'm not like against having kids,
Yeah.
but for me, I prefer not to have them just because of
Yeah.
my own personal reasons.
Wow. Wow. And and you're willing to stand by that even to the point of sacrificing like a potential mate. Like if it's someone that you really
I
like
already
and
have, yeah.
wow. Can I ask a few little questions around that?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have nothing to hide. I'm open.
Okay, Caleb, sorry.
No, you're good.
I mean, if you don't mind me asking, like how did so was this person someone that you really found very interesting? It got up to the point to where y'all were vibing and then I guess how did that conversation come about? Was it just like, yeah, I can't wait to have kids? He's like, oh, I can't wait to and then you're sitting there staring at him like, oh, like how did how did that happen? Like I'm a bit curious.
So I was actually I met this person at a bar. Um,
Hmm.
that's something I usually don't do because I'm like, I've seen enough movies and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know if
yeah,
meeting
yeah.
someone at a bar is
Yeah,
a good idea. But it
yeah.
actually turned out okay. We hung out for a couple of
Hey.
weeks and had some adventures.
Okay, okay, okay.
And it was
Adventures.
just the fact that this was before I got a house. I was at my apartment and he was there and
Yeah,
I knew that he had two kids prior to, we had conversations about it. I don't care. I'm not opposed to anyone having kids already. Fine.
yeah,
Um, but he mentioned that he wanted to have more kids.
yeah.
And then well, I told him, like, I know we never talked about this, but I don't want to have kids.
Wow.
And a couple times he tried to like go around it and like, well, are you sure? And we would have beautiful babies and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and then sometimes whenever you're like really into someone, the thought crosses your mind, well, maybe just one
yeah.
will make them happy.
Maybe. Yeah.
But I'm not into that. And if it's not in me, I'm not going to lead you on. And I wouldn't
Wow.
want you to do the same thing to me. So I just thought that it
Yeah.
was best that we just broke it off. So,
Wow.
um, I mean, we had no hard feelings about anything, but yeah,
Okay.
it's just that was his vision. And like when you
Yeah.
go into multiple avenues of children, like you're thinking
Yep.
like, you want like two or three more kids.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'd rather you find somebody that wants to do that.
Wow. 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 And has that? I'm sure that's broken your heart many times too. I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
Um,
oh,
More times than I can, want to
yeah.
admit to.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I feel like now I've become so ingrained in my own patterns that
Hmm.
90% of the time it doesn't bother me because
Hmm.
I'm a creature of habit. I come home from work. I either sit down and watch TV or I listen to music
Yeah.
for the like hour that I have because then I
Yeah.
go to the gym after that.
Hmm.
And I could be there. I mean, the gym now has become like such a safe space for me.
Yeah.
I could be there anywhere from like 2 to 3 hours
Wow.
and just
Wow.
completely just block out the world.
Yeah.
And then, every now and then post on socials. And by that time, it's time for me to go to sleep and do everything all over again.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I have been trying to break myself a little bit out of that pattern and not being as strict with the gym because I realize, I've restricted myself from friends, family. They
Hmm.
do want to be around me, and I'm just like, just want to stay in my bubble.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
But I've been venturing out every now and then. Like I might go to the casino today, but we'll see.
Okay. Okay. Would you say that you're an introvert or extrovert? I'm curious.
Uh, I feel like I'm more introverted,
Okay.
but everybody always says, "Oh, you're so extroverted." Well, I mean, when I'm out, yes, I can go out there and I can talk to anybody,
Yeah.
but I prefer to be at home.
Mm.
I feel like I'm more of a mixture. I don't want to say I'm necessarily one or the other. And
Yeah.
I do enjoy whenever I go out and I talk to people, and it does come very easily to me.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that I don't have anxieties behind it. Like, I could want to talk to someone and I will eventually, but that initial thought is like, just be quiet.
Yeah.
Don't say anything. Don't bother them.
Right. You're not the initiator.
Right.
Gotcha.
And
Wow.
eventually, someone always ends up talking.
Somebody always says, yeah. Yeah, I'm for real because I'm an extrovert and
Mhm.
I think we are very much attracted to talking to people who are introverted. We kind of sift them out. You know,
Hmm.
it's like, oh, you don't want to be talked to? Oh yeah, we gotta talk to you. Like it's like
Which I feel like, oh man, I've probably known you what for about a year now, maybe
yeah,
over a
yeah.
year.
Hmm.
You've definitely picked a little bit at me, and I'd be like,
I
a couple
know, I
times.
know. And
So
that's what
I
I w-
understand exactly where you're coming from.
I was shocked when you decided to do something like this though. Like why were you were so open to even just hop on?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Um,
saying?
Not
You're so
saying that
open.
I still don't have my anxieties behind it,
Facts,
but
facts.
I'm just trying. I mean, I have been trying the past, I would say, 2 years to like
Yeah.
step outside of myself and not be so in a box. Um, so many times I've passed up on opportunities and everything because I let my anxiety get the best of me, or I'm like, I'm not good enough to do that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's another problem that we don't talk about is what do you really see as not good enough?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who can be the judge to say that you're not good enough to do anything?
Mm,
So
come
I've been
on.
trying to take a different direction in my own mind that there really is no threshold to not being good enough.
Yeah, come on, man. Oh man, you brought up a whole nother like you know, I mean, Caleb, I'm dead serious because, and I think that has a lot to do with your upbringing. I
Hmm.
really do. Like, I think it has a lot to do, not just yours specifically, but just in general. Like, I think it has a lot to do with who raised you, because I oftentimes feel like those voices, the voices they put in your head, is oftentimes what's hunting us in terms of what we can't do or how good we're not good or nothing's ever too good. You know, like those voices, depending on who's raised you and how they raised you, I noticed that for a lot of people, including myself. Like, did they pour
Yeah.
into me, or am I now trying to reverse or undo all these voices? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I don't want to like, discredit my parents or anything because
Yeah,
for the most part, my childhood was decent.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's some things,
You were
but
spoiled. You were spoiled. No, but
I was very spoiled. I will say that. But we had our own problems. My parents were divorced, so for a
yeah,
whole other reason.
yeah.
But yeah, I was a brat. I was spoiled. I got everything that I
Mm,
wanted, and I was probably one of those kids you seen on like a movie. And anytime I was mad at my dad or something,
mm.
I'd break my phone. He'd buy me a new one the next day. I was a brat.
Really?
Yeah, I was a brat.
Wow.
And I feel like sometimes that hurt me because I wasn't as forthcoming with those people that were less fortunate until I got a little
Mm.
older.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, well, why don't you just ask your parents to do this? Why don't you do this?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't understand
Mhm.
the differences in that. And, I honestly didn't even understand the differences in color. I was told,
Mm.
I'll never forget this, and I'll never forget that. I don't know what he looks like now, but I know what he looks like as a kid.
Yeah,
Little blonde haired boy come up
yeah.
to me in school and said, you're black, right? I said,
Whoa.
what does that mean? I didn't
Whoa.
understand.
Yeah,
So for
yeah.
me, like, at that age, I was only like maybe 6 or 7. I'm like, what is the kid
Mm.
talking about? And then I asked my mom when I came home, I'm like, Mom, am I black? And she's like, oh boy. Now
Oh
I have
man.
this discussion with you.
Right.
My mom didn't think that she had to explain that really to us. It's just something that we've never talked about. And
Yeah,
I guess I never really noticed because, I'm biracial, so my
yeah,
family's always been a mixture of everything.
yeah,
So I didn't really see it.
yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And I understand that. I definitely understand not having that discussion. That being the discussion, you don't have to just necessarily sit down. But
Mhm.
no, but knowing that you're biracial, man, I got so many other questions. I'm so sick. Like, oh, like it's so many other questions I have in regards to just your perspective because again, that's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole
It
nother
really is.
um
But I feel like that, along with, how my parents have brought me up, that's definitely
yep.
affected my upbringing, my decisions.
Yeah.
Uh, Whenever my parents got divorced, I was dropped into a whole nother situation when she moved with my stepdad because
Yeah.
he was in a uh, underprivileged area.
Yeah, yeah,
And that
Hmm.
was a shock for me, a cultural shock.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
that's a whole nother topic, but yeah, it's
Mm.
very, very interesting. But
This is good. This is really good.
our childhoods definitely affect how we are, teenagers, adults,
This
everything carries over.
exactly. Exactly, exactly. And I think again, just bringing it around full circle, again, going back to the realistic, unrealistic goals, some goals being very realistic, but they seem unrealistic just due to the upbringing or what we've been taught that we couldn't do or how good we were not, just things like that, that can affect
Mhm.
your aspirations, your inspirations, you know, um, and that you bringing up that topic and I'm getting ready to close. I know we're pushing 15, but um, this this was such a good topic, and I will be bringing you back on because this is really good. I got far more questions, and I want to go a bit deeper, even in terms of biracial. I got a whole
Mhm.
bunch of freaking questions, Kayla, because again, I'm so serious. Like it's good that you are this transparent, and I appreciate it because
Mhm.
you're allowing other people that chance and opportunity to see someone like them. I know a lot of people that are biracial, and it's just a level of trying to speak on that aspect, or a lot of people who have parents that were very strenuous in terms of the upbringing, and they haven't had conversations with them and about that upbringing or the raising of being strict and very hard on them, but that one conversation being exactly what they need
Mhm.
to unlock that relationship. And so they never talk to them. They build resentment. They build all these different type of things with them, but they never actually have gotten to that root. So you coming on here and talking about it, oh, you have definitely brought another level of conversation to my brand. And I
Yeah,
appreciate
I
it.
feel like it's not to cut you off, but sometimes I get
Yeah.
so wrapped up in talking about like everything that I want to say.
Yep.
The point that I was going to make with that is, like I said, with not discrediting my parents, but
Yeah.
mainly my dad was the one that was so headstrong into
Yep.
education and always having the highest grade that you can have.
Yep.
So when I didn't
Mhm.
have those, and I'd come home and I was in trouble.
Yep. Yep.
There goes your
Hmm.
phone. There goes your game systems. You
Hmm.
better not turn on that TV.
Yeah. 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 You better not turn
So,
that to yeah.
it's those things growing up that affected me in some
Yeah.
positive and some negative ways because then you think like, okay, well, if I don't have the highest grade, I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
it's good and a bad thing whenever parents are strict on their kids, but
Yeah.
that's something that only a parent can make the decision on
Yeah.
and how they're gonna mold their kids into what they want to be.
Mm. This is good. This is so freaking good. Oh my goodness. I'm so serious. You have no idea how much of an adrenaline this is to me. I can't wait to chop this up. And I'm gonna, like I said, we're gonna continue this and maybe I may even bring you into a group call because I think I may
Mhm.
want other people that are biracial to talk with you and
Mhm.
y'all to like bounce ideas off of each other with the questions I have because I have a lot. Um, yeah, I'm for real. And also I want to go even oof, okay, all right. I gotta control myself because if I don't no, for real, Kayla, you just started. You can't you look, you just started, so
I
I'm trying
really
to
did. I told you once I get talking
I
and
know you ain't
everything,
no freaking introvert. You extrovert. Nah, 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 nah. You an extrovert. You ain't nah, you just lied.
I just flip flop in
You
between.
flip flop. You do. You do. I love it though. I love it. Again, thank you so much for this opportunity, this time. Again, I try to keep them short because I talk to so many different people. But
Mhm.
I will be posting this probably today. You may see a few
Okay.
snippets come out today or tomorrow, and you'll see that cycle and just see a few things. So I'll let you know when I post the full video on YouTube. I'll tag you in it as well. If you don't mind, could you send me like three pictures of you? They could be like full face or they could be
Yeah.
full body if you want to. But I just want people to be able to at least see you and know who
Yeah.
you are. If that's
Sounds good.
cool. All right, cool, cool, cool. That sounds good. And again, for anybody else that wants to hop on and do this, again, the link is in my bio. Um, again, we just talk about different topics and things of that nature when it comes to life coaching. And then I also have a perspective or a system in which I help people to build systems through that, through life coaching. So just something if you're interested. But this is Kayla. Again, I thank you for this time. Thank you for this opportunity. And you truly have been a amazing asset to my brand and my content. So until next time, let's do it.
All right. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, Kayla. I'll hit you up in the DMs.
All right.
All right. Appreciate you.
Bye.
Bye bye.